Finally live. But wait, I'm seeing that the time is reading from when I stopped. So we are already 3 minutes gone, but I'm hoping that we are on track. Right? We are 3 minutes gone. So thank you so much for coming online. I'm super excited. I'm super excited. This is the maiden edition of the Beyond the Surface. Beyond the Surface is a conversation that is real, is genuine, is authentic. We are talking about life experiences with real facts and research-driven proofs, and then so many other things that borders on humanity. That's basically what we are talking about, and we are keeping it real here because trust me, you are going to get impact and value for every time you come online to listen to us, because we are not just talking, we are professionals, we are experts. Forget what you are seeing, we don't have to but we have the stuff inside. This is just brain and beauty mixed together, right? So you are on board the right you're on board the right room. You're on board the right room. So today we are kicking off the Beyond the Surface conversation, and we are starting this episode, which is the first of its kind, and we're talking about health and wealth. Health and wealth, because these are important areas of the human life that is non-negotiable. Like, you just have to think about it, you have to breathe it, you have to be concerned about it. And who else can speak to you about it other than Philomena Ogirioba and Judith Obiefule? So we are here to give you the insight that, you could say that this is a masterclass conversation, but trust me, it's going to be highly valuable. So today's series is tagged, Can You Actually Build Wealth While Destroying Your Health? And that conversation sits right at the heart of we Blacks, not just Nigerian as a whole, because we are known for this culture of working our, heads, not just our bottom or something, but we are working our heels daily, and then so many factors that are affecting the health. So we just want to talk about it. We want to build on that particular area. Can you build wealth while destroying your health? And today I want to kick off this conversation by putting our own finance expert, the woman that talks about, investment, money, and everything about growing financially and totally independently. So I would give her the mic to just, say something about that topic before we dive into it fully. So let me hear you, Philomena. Can we really build wealth while destroying our health? Over to you. Please, can we hear ourselves? If you're on this call, please, sorry to cut you. If you're on this call and you can hear me and you can also hear her, you can hear Philomena, you can hear Judy, just put it in the comments, please. Let's know that we are talking to people and we are not talking to ourselves, because right now it's just my voice I can hear. I'm only going right now in my space. And you too, right? I can't hear you, but I can read your lips. I know you're asking me if I can hear you. I cannot hear. I can't hear anything. Like, it's literally muted. Please, you people should bear with me. This is my first ever live since doing YouTube. See, this is my first ever live since doing YouTube. Oh, wow, wow, wow. Somebody's here and she's saying she can hear me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see my Vera. She is super, super amazing. Okay, you can hear me, right? But can you hear her? Can you hear Philomena Ogerioba? Okay, yes. So she says she cannot hear you. So I don't know. So I think I am adapting to this YouTube live. But whether the devil likes it or not, we're going to have this conversation. We must have it. So, will you join? Will you log out and then join? Yes, Vera is saying she cannot hear you. And same here, but I'm good at reading lips. I can read your lips. So what do I do? Do I resend you the invite? Do I resend you the invite? Let me just go on. Oh my. We still cannot hear you, but let me just go on and then probably you can go off and then come online. Yes. And I believe that would be able to resolve the glitch we are hearing in the audio. Okay, so I still cannot hear you. So the conversation basically, oh, okay, sorry about that. Please bear with us. Technical issues happen like this, especially, when we are still amateur. We are not professionals, but definitely with practice, we are going to be perfect in this. And in our next conversation, because this is going to be happening every Thursday by 8 p.m. In our next conversation, I can promise you that there won't be this type of glitch. So please, please, please pardon us. All right. So today, like I said, I would just want to give some insight because your wealth and your life health, they are two inseparable things that you cannot do one at the mercy of the other one. You cannot be health at the mercy of your health, and you cannot be healthy at the mercy of your finance. So you can't say you want to be healthy and you don't have finance. How are you going to sustain it? How are you going to sustain that health that you are planning to build, or you are actually desiring? So this is why it is very crucial. And like I always say, it is important that we have a mentality that makes us prevent the negativity that may happen in the future, whether in terms of wealth building or in terms of health sustainability, right? So if we have that mindset, or we have that culture of being preventive rather than curative or solution oriented, we will be able to understand why this particular conversation is very, very key. All right. Now, I want to ask this very pertinent question. And this question has been in my heart for so much. If you are offered like $1 million, if you're offered $1 million and then you are told to probably work a roll call 24/7. Welcome back, Philomena. I think I can hear you now. I must hear you. Say something. Hallelujah. I can hear you. All right. So please just continue. I can pause from what I was saying. So, but I was asking a question that if you are offered a job that pays $1 million annually, like $1 million annually, and you're told to work 24 hours round the clock and given probably like a very thin days or thin line of leave or days off at work, what will you choose? So I'm asking the audience, just keep that question rolling in your mind as we get into the conversation. And remember, this conversation is not going to be a full day conversation. It's just going to be for 30 minutes, and at most 45 minutes we are done, because we're still going to leave like 15 minutes for questions and answer. All right, over to you, sis. Let's hear you, Philomena. What do you think about this particular conversation we are having? Can we really build wealth while destroying our health? All right, let's hear you.
Okay, when we talk about wealth in this part of the world, everybody thinks it's just money, right? Now, it is not just about money. Wealth is not only about money, because your health is part of your wealth.
True.
Your time is part of your wealth. Your energy is part of your wealth, right? So you cannot be destroying those things while you're just chasing the money. So you have to make sure everything is balanced. So when we talk about destroying your health, you should not be doing that, because your health is also part of your wealth. That's why they say when you are healthy, you are wealthy, right? It's because you don't
Very
want to
correct.
have that 100 naira and then you cannot even enjoy it because your health is failing. You know, on social media, people would usually post memes that when we are finally made the money, may our health not be a problem. Even though that's like a joke, but it is very, very serious, because think about it. After chasing all that money and then you cannot enjoy it, you are running from hospital to hospital. That is not the place where we want to be. So you shouldn't be destroying your health just because you want to make the money. There has to be a balance to it.
Very good. There has to be a balance to these things. And I just want to talk about this particular mindset where people always say that, see, don't worry, I will take care of myself as soon as I blow. As soon as I start making money, I will take care. You see, I will call a nutritionist. I would even have a personal health coach. I will do this. I will have a this. I will have it that. What do you think? What's your take about that mentality? That don't worry when I blow, but now let me be grinding. That word, let me be grinding. Let me be hustling. What do you think about it?
Well, I understand where the person is coming from, because whatever when you want to look at it, money gives you options. With money, you are able to access better healthcare. You are able to eat better food. Like anything, you have options. Anything you want to eat, you can actually afford it. But when you have limited resources, you have to make do with what you have. And so that's why people will usually say something like that, that just let me grind now so that when the money comes, I can now have options. I can call a nutritionist, because for now, I cannot actually afford it. But what they fail to understand is that you don't actually have to have all that money before you actually prioritize your health. Because it's the little things that matter. You know, sometimes just overlooking that burger and deciding to take maybe fruits and vegetables, that does not really need you to actually arrive or blow. They are the simple things and the simple choices that we can make on a daily basis, but overall, it impacts our health. You don't need to actually blow before you buy your normal vegetables and fruits, right? The money you are using to buy suya in the night to enjoy and relax yourself, you can actually use that money to buy vegetables. So you don't need to actually get a nutritionist, visit the top experts before you can actually put those little things in place. So yeah, we respect the hustle culture, we respect the grinding culture, but at the same time, we should know that our health we cannot trade.
Thank you so much. I don't want to say I beg to disagree, but I have a different opinion about the idea of saying, don't worry, let me grind, let me walk, let me blow first, and then I will now start looking for how to now glow. There's a problem with that, and I'm speaking from the standpoint as a nutritionist and as someone who has been in the health space for years, like counting 50. Now, there's a problem with that statement because the body you are grinding with will not be the same body in the nearest future. Probably you have a timeline of 5 years blowing, or you have a timeline of 15 years blowing. The same body you are grinding with, you are, stressing, you are overworking, will not be in the same frame. It won't be in the same, physique. It won't be same structural form anatomically as you are right now. So that's why intentionality matters a whole lot in this whole journey of building wealth and also maintaining our health. Because if you have this mindset of, I have to be healthy because of me, because one of the things that I particularly do for myself as my own way of self thought, or will I say self advice, or self inspiration. I give myself inspiration. I tell myself, because I want to get to a certain age where I do not want to be a burden. So there is no grinding that will make me grind and say, wait, when I arrive, I will now start looking for how to be healthy. So the idea of that is something that we should shift from. It's a misconception that we should shift from, because if we have that understanding that our body is like a foam, just the same way we always say garbage in, garbage out for a computer device, right? So the moment you overwork yourself, you garbage in so much pressure, so much, sedentary lifestyle, so much stress, so much overworking, the body breaks down. The body feels it, the body swallows it, and at the point where you finally, with the help of God, blow, the body's not going to be the same. You're now going to start, looking for infrastructural compartment or patching to now start doing. So one of the things I want to encourage us on this, on this table, like having this conversation, is that let's have this mindset shift that you don't have to wait till you blow before you start glowing. You can have this intentionality that makes you say, hey, I want to look in this certain way at this certain age. I do not want to become not just a prayer burden, or I don't want to become a social burden and a mental burden to the people I love. And that would always help you to make the right choice, even with the same faith or with the same status or the same, lifestyle you are living. So that's one thing that I will want us to take, right? And I guess if we close from here, we've been able to pass some message. All right.
But I want to
Thank
say
you so much.
something. Something
Okay, please
I
go
want to
on.
say something. When the Bible says for a young man to bear his burden in his youth. See,
True.
when it comes to making this dough, we're talking about money, making money now, and then balancing it with our health. There are
Mm,
actually some of jobs that people are actually undergoing that stresses them out. But when they're actually doing those types of job, I want to actually, you talked about intentionality. They have to be intentional because they know that, okay, this particular job that I'm doing right now, it's going to break me if I do it for too long, right? So you want to give yourself maybe a time frame if you are a young person, because whether you like it or not, you have more strength when you are younger. And there are some things that your body can actually still adjust to much more than someone who is. So while you are
true.
actually doing that job, if the money is worth it, you should be looking towards buying your freedom early enough. I am actually of that school of thoughts. If the money is worth it, not that you are stressing yourself for something that is not worth it. So if the money is really good, if the money is really good, you should be looking towards buying your freedom soonest. So you give yourself like a few years that, okay, let me get this dough, right? And build a structure for myself, be able to start up that business that I've always wanted, just like that. It's just like when our own people sometimes go abroad, they taught us some jobs, some care jobs are very stressful. Even if you are just doing it for 8 hours, 10 hours, the way they will use you, because I have some people over there and they will give you their experiences. The way they will use them like horses, but then they are doing it so that they can get that stability that they want. Some of them, before they can even practice with whatever certificates they left here with, there are some institutions that they need to attend over. And when you get there, the bills are not going to wait for you. The water bill is not waiting for you. The light bill is not waiting for you. And you have to settle those things. So, what most of them do is that even though those jobs are very stressful, they still take it, but they already have in mind that, okay, in this number of months or years, I'm quitting this job, and getting something better that will afford me that freedom and lifestyle that I actually deserve. Hope you understand. So I'm actually
Okay.
coming from that standpoint.
So you're coming from the school of thought that they should use their energy while they are young and then,
No,
like
I'm not
build
saying
whatever they can build
every.
at that point.
I'm not saying. I just want intentionality. I'm just saying that, see, there are some, like that scenario that I gave you, there are some situations that you cannot help or control. Do you know that there are bankers here who have good jobs, but because of course they want greener pasture, they want a more structured society, they sell off everything and they move abroad. When they
Mm.
get there, they are not going to get that bank job immediately like they had it over here. When it comes to that real life situation, and they have to maybe take on some menial jobs that are very stressful, it's not even for good money, but just to be able to pay debt and bills, right? They have to take it, because over there the bills don't wait for anyone. There is nobody you are going to call to help you. You are on your own. So you just want to do those jobs for the time being, right? But with the prospect and that mind that, okay, I have to get something else so that I don't die doing this particular job. Do you know those are and
Yes,
the dark
yes, yes.
places? You understand? Yes. So in those kind of
Very true.
instances, you very intentional, right? Already you know that you are doing a very stressful job. You don't want to combine that with bad feeding habits. Your nutrition has to be right, because
It
you
has
maybe
to be
going to a job and then you are eating wrong. That means you are
or
close to
taking
the
fizzy
grave
drink,
already.
taking carbonated drink
So
24/7, because that is something that is
exactly,
really, really
you cannot be
handy.
doing
You just grab
that.
it on the go and you come back, you munch on burger or over the weekend.
Exactly. So you have to be intentional because your job is already doing so much on your body. So what you want to ensure is that you are eating right to actually refill that part of your life that your job is already taking away. And then you already know that, okay, if I get my courses right, or I go to these institutions that I need, have the necessary certifications that can actually afford me to get better jobs, I am living what I am doing. So while you are waiting for that, you take on what you can see, and then yeah, that's what I'm actually trying to say.
Very good. Yeah, that's true. You can't be overworking yourself and still be overworking poor nutrition. It's not a good system structure at all. So what I would advise to as a nutrition expert is, whilst you're combining jobs, especially jobs that are strenuous, ensure that your nutrition is highly balanced. Like, you are very, very intentional about what you eat, in the sense that if your work is stressful, you know that your blood pressure is already pumped up, so you don't want to keep consuming fizzy drinks, carbonated drinks, processed food that would elevate, the blood pressure, and thereby causing the inception or susceptibility to high blood pressure, diabetes, and the rest of it. So what you should be eating as at that point should be probably fruits and vegetables, and then you could add lean proteins, and then less of starchy foods as at that point in your life journey, since your goal is to be able to cover up so that you can become financially free over time. And then your
Free.
best liquid can be water. Water is like the best
What?
liquid, despite the fact that I'm an entrepreneur. But I tell you, water is the most nutrient dense drink you can ever have, that helps you achieve so much more that any other drink cannot. Right? All right, so let's quickly move. We're running out of time. When you start having conversations that are very key and interesting like this, the time will just be spinning and you won't know when 30 minutes have gone. And so let's quickly move. We are already 27 minutes gone. So I just want to quickly ask these few questions, then we'll give room for people that would like to ask some question. So for you, do you think people sometimes sacrifice too much for their health in the process of trying to become financially free or successful? So do you think people actually sacrifice too much for their health, or in the process of trying to become financially free or successful? Do you get the question?
Yes, that is actually
Okay.
what a lot of people are predisposed to. And that's why I like conversations like this, because sometimes people act out of ignorance. We are told that, okay, we have to make money, we have to, have options, but we are not told that we have to balance this with our health. Even some motivational speakers, they will tell you that, you cannot sleep more than this so hours. They are not telling you the implication on your body. Do you understand? Everybody is telling you to grind, everybody is telling you not to be lazy, get the money, get the bag. So people are running without information, they are running without consciousness, and then they are putting their health, you know in the process, they are endangering their health. So yes, that is what we already know as something that is being preached all the time in the society. So having conversations like this will help to enlighten people to know that, okay, you are hustling and chasing this money at the detriment of your health. Do you understand? Because I am also a victim of that. Yes. And the reason why is because I did not know at the time. I had to start reading it
Yeah.
up after the medical practitioners told me what was wrong with me. I had to start looking it up, Googling it before I now realized that I was making bad choices. It's all about bad choices, because you cannot be stressing yourself at work, come back, you're taking Fanta to down the the stress that you had during the day, and you think you are enjoying, you are relaxing, but you don't know that you are actually killing your body the more. And even at the time that I was going through all that stress, I was pregnant as well, and it affected my blood pressure even as young as I am. So, but I didn't have this information beforehand, but I had to start reading it up to know that, okay, when you are actually always stressed, there is something you are releasing called cortisol. And so
So
your
yeah.
body is always state of flight. Is always thinking, is trying to fight that stress that you are bringing in. And because of that, your blood pressure starts going up. I did not have that information before. So that was why I had to start making some hard choices. I had to let go of some things that I was doing at the time, because it just made sense for me to keep my health in check. But people don't have this information until probably they have already broken down, right? So yes, a lot of people are chasing money at the expense of their health, and most times they are doing it ignorantly, like I was.
Wow, thank you for sharing. And that's a very relatable redemption that you've had. Like you experienced it and then you came out of it and you can be able to testify of it. There are some others that will not have this opportunity to actually tell the story because they just go and they end up not coming back. But that will not be our case in Jesus' name. All right, so I just want to add to what you have said. Now, being successful or being financially free, yes, must never be at the expense of your health, because one of the precious things God has given to us is that He has given us a body that is able to signal us, that's able to give us signs, and then also, triggers that tells us that, hey, you are overdoing this. It's just like, when you have a stabilizer, particular voltage or current that enters into it and then it starts beeping or clicking or doing something. So God has, created and fashioned our body the same way. There are certain kind of lifestyle or habits that we have while chasing financial freedom or financial success that we would have as a sign telling us. There are so many people, they end up becoming so fatigued, like instantaneously they wake up and they are fatigued, they don't even have that, ease in their body. That's a sign, that's a signal that, hey, you need to take a step back, go for a health check, and just readjust your schedules. And then there are certain times that we have several kind of lifestyle that is already it's kind of like telling that there's going to be something that would go off in the shortest possible time. For someone who is working in an office sitting for 8 hours long, that's already a red flag telling you that you're building up your body system. For diabetes, you're storing up so much negative energy when you're supposed to be physically, active. So these are some of the signs that we can pay attention to that would help us prevent some sicknesses and then lifestyle diseases that may affect us or may come our way whilst we are chasing this financial freedom, because it does not have to come at the expense of our health. All right, thank you so much for that. And the second thing I would want to
Something
ask.
that I want to say. So I went on Instagram 2 days ago, although I've already deleted the app right now because it's a big distraction for me. So I just came online to actually check something because someone sent me something. And I saw on the blogs a businesswoman in China. When she was there, she was having the signs that something was wrong with her. So she was actually filming herself, talking about her sweating even in the midst of AC. She was like, it's not easy to get this money. Oh, you know how we just casually say things like that. Do you know that she
Yeah,
actually died in China? She didn't come back.
are you serious? Oh my goodness. You
Yes.
see?
He was
Wow.
already giving her signs. She was in a
And
cold
most
place,
times
but
we
she
just
was
tend to ignore them. We tend
was
to ignore, we tend to
tired.
procrastinate.
Somebody said something to me one day, and I held on to that. The body doesn't just collapse immediately. It has to give you signs, but most times we ignore it. You see that fatigue, you see that tiredness, you're sweating in a cold place. That is a way of your body telling you something is wrong, something you need to check me. I'm breaking down, but a lot of people don't actually pay attention to it and they overstress it, and then the body, has to collapse. So yeah, a lot of people are actually chasing this money at the expense of their health. And I will always say it is ignorance, because when you know, you make better choices. If she had
That's
if she
it.
had that
What
awareness,
you know. Mm-hmm.
yes, if you know better choices,
Because
if she had that
you don't want to
awareness
be
that
like, I would say experience is the best teacher, because there are some experiences you will never come out from to tell the story of it. And you don't have a spare life. There is no spare life, even though God gives second chances, but there is no spare life. So you cannot be playing kalo kalo, like my dad will say, my late dad. You cannot be playing kalo kalo with your health. No, it is too valuable to be playing, puzzle with it. No, so you just have to be this way, and then you work towards achieving that. So that's basically it. There is no excuse that is tenable for poor health. There is no excuse that is tenable to make us want to put our health at the risk of gaining anything, because our body is the vehicle that drives us to the financial freedom we are aiming for. So that's basically it. All right, so quickly, the time is running fast, like I said. Are you with me, Philomena? Hello, Phil, are you
yes,
here?
ma'am, I am here.
Okay,
Can you
all
hear
right. So
me?
the next. Yes, I can hear you now. The next thing I want to ask is very, very, very key in your line, in your finance line. And it's I want to respond to it from a financial perspective, right? What do you think that people misunderstand about the cost of poor health? What do you think that people misunderstand? What do they misunderstand about poor health? Because there are so many people, they would say, because I don't have money for health insurance, then you understand. So I want to know from your own financial perspective or view, what do you think people misunderstand about this cost of poor health that we are seeing very prevalent these days? Over to you, Phil. Are we still together? Network. Hello. Okay, so like I was asking her, I want to understand what she she thinks or what her view is about people that say that based on their financial capability or their financial status, that could be the reason for being in a poor state of health. And it's rampant these days, because a lot of people would say that I do not have money for health insurance, that healthy living is expensive, so many excuses and the rest of it. So we need to also understand that aspect, that poor health is not we like say is not a yardstick, or no, sorry, your financial status or your financial incapability. Even though we understand your financial incapability or your financial situation is not a reason that should make you embrace pure and poor health at all. It's not, because for me, I would want to come from the line of someone who may not be even financially strong, or may not be in that financial cadre where you say the person is wealthy, but this person is just surviving. There are certain steps that you can take to guard your health. There are certain things that you can do to protect your health. Walking is free. You don't have to pay to walk. And then, as in, research has shown that people who take 30,000 steps a day have been able to reduce the susceptibility or vulnerability to like non-communicable disease by over 30%. So do you pay to work? So these are some things that we would our financial status or our financial level as an excuse. So poor health is not something we would tie to those that pay health insurance. No, 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 no. We are talking of having the prevention mentality. And then another thing is to tell me that even healthy living is expensive. It means that you have never experienced heal health. Because for me, healthy living is the cheapest way to sustain your life. Just be healthy. And I understand that there are certain factors that guide one's healthy state, right? It's not just about what we eat. It's also genetic, it's also a biological mechanism, and so many other factors. Yes, but as much as possible, your lifestyle excuse me, your lifestyle has a lot to do with your lifestyle has a lot to do with your health state, right? Your health state has a lot to do. When your lifestyle is correct, your health will adjust. And I was telling myself this day, like, if I can be taking fruits every day, and according to research studies, it says that when I do that every day for the rest of my life, despite having all other things being equal, I would be able to reduce my risk to lifestyle diseases by over 30%. Why will I not sacrifice 1,000 naira, especially from my own countryside, and buy fruits? Why will I then hurry to want to grab a hamburger when I can grab an apple? Everybody knows that there is this saying that goes by, one apple a day, keeps the doctor away. But still, yet you will see an apple, you will pass by it, and you go and grab one hamburger, you go and grab pizza, you go and grab a bowl of ice cream. I'm not saying that these things are going to come easy, but when you are intentional, when you have that intentionality about staying and living healthy, you will be moved, you will be encouraged, you'll be inspired to want to take the right step towards your health. Because, friends, heal health is not something you want to be in, you want to experience, because as at that time your finance is already crippling. Over time, we have seen how the rate of healthcare system has skyrocketed by over 200%.